Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install one of our rear license plate relocation brackets. Sure, all you are pretty aware the license plate on all the stock Bronco bumpers mounts to the bumper. And most aftermarket bumpers, including ours, don't have a good place for the license plate to go. And that's for a few reasons. The stock bumper, they're pretty big. They're pretty chunky, and usually when we're designing a replacement off-road style bumper, we're looking to add some ground clearance, especially in the corners, so that we're not dragging them. That takes away a lot of that real estate. The other big factor is recovery points. If you look at our new Sledgehammer series rear bumper, you'll notice we got two big solid mounting points for recovery shackles. Now those structurally need to go straight to the frame. That puts them right through the space that the license plate normally mounts to, and then on either side of that there are parking sensors. So once you factor all those things, you get your recovery spot. There's just not a good place to put the license plate. So we came up with this bracket. We really didn't like the setups where they put them on the spare tire, because they get in the way if you ever need to use your spare tire. So this one, this does mount to the spare tire rack, or the carrier, using the factory bolts. With this, you'll get the bracket, a light that bolts in here along with the hardware to mount the light, bundle of wire to route it to the factory wiring harness, a few connectors here to connect up the wires, because you are going to be cutting and splicing some wires, and then a small rubber bumper. And what this bumper is for, this bracket mounts all the way at one side to your spare tire carrier. The other side, it extends out alongside the spare tire. And when you're opening and closing the door, this thing can have a little bit of movement. So this bumper actually goes on the back side, and the hole is aligned so that the bumper will bump up against the Ford logo emblem on there, and keep any paint from getting scratched. So to start off with, for the install, you're going to want to take your light, go ahead and bolt it in place. And then your rubber bumper comes in from the back. If you just try pushing it through the hole, the rubber is going to compress and it's going to kind of fight you. So I found the best way to do it is you push it through the hole as much as you can. You'll have some of it sticking out, and then you grab a pair of pliers and you kind of pinch that little rubber nipple that's sticking out, and if you pull it, it'll stretch and it'll pop right through the hole. So from there, the bracket will be all prepped and ready to go, and we'll take it over to the Bronco to show you how it goes. I will say I originally filmed this quite a while ago in conjunction with our rear bumper install video, and unfortunately some of the original footage didn't come out and got messed up, and so I've kind of had to chop this together a little bit. So I apologize if anything seems a little bit rough, but hopefully everything you need to know will be in there. And as always, if you have any questions, you can feel free to shoot us an email, stinkyfabracing@gmail.com, or the contact form on our website. So with all that in mind, we will step back in time now to installing the very first bracket. Another thing you'll probably notice that is the very first one that we made. You'll probably notice some changes in wiring and things. We actually used a wiring harness from something else that we had sitting around the shop. So you'll notice the wire covering and things is a little bit different, but the procedures are all the same. So follow along, and hope this helps for you. Here, as always, is the star of the show. Gotta have the shop dog in there. All right, so getting back to the program here, like I said, had to refilm some of this stuff. Just wanted to talk about The stock location, here's the factory bumper on our Badlands here. You can see the stock license plate light there in the bumper. Obviously, we need to get the wiring up into the door because our new license plate is going to go right over top of the Ford oval there. So I'm guessing most of you guys are going to be doing this in conjunction with swapping bumpers. So this procedure is going to kind of be based on already having the bumper off so you can see the wiring harness and gain access to it. But the first step would be to access the harness, unplug that connector from the factory light, and like I said, you're going to clip off the connector and then splice on our wiring extension. Down in here, you're going to take out the factory license plate light. Make sure if you do disconnect the connectors from the sensor or from the light here, make sure you label those because they are the same plug and they will plug in backwards. We'll be just cutting this plug off and then splicing the wires on for our relocation bracket. And the black one there is going to be the ground, and then that brown one with the yellow stripe, that's going to be the positive. You can see here I brought it up just kind of behind the bracket for our door strut, and you can just run it right over the door seal at the bottom and then tuck it into the trim here. I just kind of pop this stuff out. What I'm going to do, I actually pulled the seal back. I'm going to run it behind the seal and kind of fold it over the lip and then push the seal back on top of it. Just kind of fold the wires over the lip of the body. I'm going to do it down at the bottom. Bring your wires up, and then you've got your factory wiring. We can go ahead and push the clips back in here. Get them lined up with their holes. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this across to the factory wiring. So there's this trim panel, goes here. It's got snaps across the bottom. You just kind of tilt it up and it'll come off. The top has hooks that hook in there, so don't pull it from the top, you'll break them off. And then further out on the door, this panel, the clips are all along this inside edge. So kind of slip your fingers in there and you can pull that one off as well. So I'm just going to follow along, zip tie this along here to get inside the door where we're going to go through our factory grommet there. On the outside of the door here, you'll see the grommet, there's a zip tie here that I just clipped. That's holding the harness up, and then there's electrical tape around it just sealing things up. So I'm going to unwrap the electrical tape. There's more on the inside, and then we're actually going to slide our new wires through right in the right alongside the factory wiring that's going to the taillight. So now you can see I've got the wiring all zip tied together with the factory wiring, so I can put the cover up panels back on, and I managed to fish it through that factory grommet right next to the factory wiring. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap that back up in electrical tape the same way it was. I'll zip tie it back up just like they had it from the factory. Put a little loop in it and then just drop it down, and that'll get spliced onto our new license plate light. Now it's time to actually mount our license plate bracket. Now what you're going to want to do is simply pull out these two lower bolts here in the corner of the spare tire carrier. Hold on to those because we're going to use them. Now I've got the bracket here, I got the wiring all done. You'll see there's a bunch of slack here. It just kind of makes it easier to get everything hooked up. And then what I'm going to do is just push the slack back through the door and bundle it up inside the door once we're done. So I'm going to keep that out of the way and gently get it over top of our tire bumper there. Get bolts started. And then just kind of eyeball, get it nice and squared up. When you think it looks level with the body line there, just go ahead and tighten down the bolts. Now we can take the wiring, tuck it in. It's nice and out of the way. And then we can feed this through. We can actually pull it through from the inside. That's it. And you just put your spare tire back on, and everything's all good to go. See, you got a nice plate light there for you. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out stinkyfab.com to see all the new and exciting stuff we got coming out. We got a lot of new products coming out these days, and hope to see you all on the trail soon.